Keyword research is one of the most fundamental and foundational parts of an SEO campaign. It's one of the very first things that we do. We've taken a couple of chapters and done some other things that are kind of getting your site set up, but we've not actually started to do any actual SEO on the site. That is changing what the site has on it in order to get you higher in the search engines. The reason is that we haven't done any keyword research yet. Keywords are or key phrases sometimes they're called. They're the terms that you type into a search engine in order to find a particular result. So for the rest of this video, we're going to be optimizing your DrupalSite.com for a particular key phrase. And that key phrase is going to be Seekonk real estate. And actually, we may not optimize for Seekonk real estate, but right now we're just going to assume, you know what, Seekonk real estate is what we're going to sell. And we're in Massachusetts here, in Seekonk, Massachusetts, and so I'm going to do a Google search. My key phrase or my keyword is this, Seekonk real estate. And here are the results that show up. You have the paid search across the top and on the right. And then you've got Trulia and Homes.com and a bunch of other companies that in some way, shape, or form are selling or representing Seekonk real estate. And so I want to use, in order to find the best possible keywords, because it seems obvious that Seekonk real estate is the phrase that I should use, and it might be. I haven't made that decision yet. But there may be other phrases that are very specific or more specific to what I'm trying to sell. There may be phrases that are less competitive than Seekonk real estate. That may be a super competitive phrase. There may be key phrases that get a lot more traffic and so would drive more and more people to my site. And we're going to kind of look at several different phrases, and I'm going to show you some tools about that will show us what some of those phrases are and how to get to those phrases, and then ultimately how to make a decision about which keywords that you're going to use on your website. I think just going to google.com and doing a search for what you think might be the right phrase is a good way to start. It'll show you some different companies, and so whenever I start that process, I always keep a spreadsheet, and I just go ahead and put in what I think the right terms are. And then I go to Google, and I kind of look and see what else. Okay, so just on this very first one, I'm looking at this phrase right here, and this is pulled from the Trulia.com title tag, which we're going to talk about Drupal title tags a little bit later, but this is the most important place that Google looks for your keywords. So they put Seekonk real estate and Seekonk homes for sale. So I might put that one in there too, Seekonk homes for sale. And then I'll kind of go down Seekonk homes for sale. Well, you know, Seekonk homes just by itself, that may be a good one. So I'll get that one in there. Seekonk MA real estate. Okay. MA real estate. And notice I put the comma in. It doesn't really matter. If somebody types in that phrase and they put the comma there, Google's going to ignore the comma anyway. So just don't worry about little things like that. Seekonk MA homes for sale. Is that one? No, I don't have that one yet. Seekonk MA homes for sale. And you can kind of see how I go through and just find, I'm going to find a couple more. Now, Bristol County, Rhode Island. Is Seekonk in Bristol County? I don't actually know. But I could go and find out. I'm not going to worry about that. Let's see, what else? Seekonk Realtors. Okay. And I'm going to also do Seekonk Realtors, so both the singular and the plural. Sometimes Google will put those together. Other times they'll actually show different results for them. You just kind of have to look and see how they're handling it. Seekonk foreclosures. I'm not really going to be selling foreclosures, so I'm not going to worry about that phrase. Oh, before I move on, look at this right here. Here are some searches related to Seekonk real estate. So here's Google doing your keyword research for you and putting it right there on the page. This is great. Seekonk real estate for sale. Okay, do I have that one? Seekonk real estate. No, I don't have that one yet, so I'm going to paste that right in. And let's see. Oh, houses for sale in Seekonk, Mass. Okay, I like that one. And then this last one here. Okay, provincial homes in Seekonk. Now, I'm a Texas boy. I'm not sure what a provincial home is, but maybe that's a good phrase for this part of the country. I don't know. We're going to find out. And then you can kind of click next, and you can go through and you can keep going, and you can come up with there are a lot more Seekonk commercial real estate, or there's all kinds of, and then spelling out Massachusetts or even using the zip code is another whole set of search phrases that we could be looking at. And in real estate, it's very easy to come up with 100 key phrases. I mean, it does not take a lot of creativity to come up with 100 different key phrases. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go, and as I was kind of surfing along here, I found a competitor's website. And your competition, especially those that are doing well in the search engines, are great places to go look for key phrases. So I've gone and I've found this competitor, and her name is Linda Julian. And we're giving her a little bit of free publicity here, but basically I'm going to look at Linda's site and I'm going to go, okay, what is she using for her title tag? Seekonk, Rehoboth, and Barrington real estate, Rhode Island real estate. And so those are some different key phrases. I can also view the source of her page, and I can look to see if she has the keywords meta tag, and sometimes they'll have a keywords meta tag, and this is a meta tag. We're going to talk about meta tags later, but basically a meta tag is a way of invisibly communicating certain things to the search engines. Google specifically does not look at keywords meta tags, but a lot of people still use them just in case. And of course, there are other search engines that do use the keywords meta tag. So you can go into your competition, look and see if they have a keywords meta tag, and here are all the keywords that they're trying to optimize their website for. And so I can go in here and go, okay, you can see if there are anything here. Rhode Island real estate agent. Well, that's a very broad term. It has nothing to do with Seekonk, but that might be a, well, Seekonk's in Massachusetts, so probably that's not one we'll grab. Okay, well, I don't see any there that I want to take right off the bat, or at least not ones that I don't already have. So, but anyway, that's how you would use a competitor site to try and find keywords. And then you might search through their website, read some stuff that they have on here. For sellers, for buyers, 10 things. This is a pretty typical real estate site, and it's probably got some good key phrases in it that you can kind of cull as you go along. Then once I have a pretty good list, and frankly for real estate, this is a very, very short list, but I'm trying to keep it short for the video. I would go down and I'll just copy out that list, and then I'm going to go over to Google, and if you go to Google and you type in Google Keyword Tool, the very first thing that's going to come up here is the Google AdWords Keyword Tool. And this is a fantastic place to go see some interesting data about different keywords. And what I can do is, since I've copied it out of my spreadsheet, I can just paste it right into the keyword list here. And I can tell it search for related key phrases based on what I've typed in. And then Google is going to go down here and show me a bunch of related terms. Now, let me explain a little bit what some of these columns mean, because it might be a little bit confusing. This first thing is just a tick box, and this is a way that you can save out these keywords and then create an AdWords campaign. We're not doing AdWords in this video, but you could do this if you didn't already have your own spreadsheet. You could kind of go here first, tick these off, tell it to export the data, and then it'll save it as a spreadsheet for you, and you can copy it out that way. I found that it's easier and better formatted if I just do it myself, but this is a way that you would be able to do that. Of course, this is the key phrase, and then if you actually click on this key phrase, it's going to open it up. It's going to open that search term up in Google, so you can kind of see what results are showing up there. So that's nice. Then you have a competition column, And the lower this green bar is, the smaller this green bar is on this chart, the less competition there is for that key phrase. And the higher the bar is, the more competition. You can see the tooltips is telling me, oh, that one's medium competition, you know, this one's going to be low competition. And if there's a little dash, it means there's no appreciable competition. So I'm looking down here in Seekonk MA real estate. You know, it's got no competition. That might be my search phrase. The other thing I look at here are the global monthly searches and then the local monthly searches. The difference between global and local is simply a geographical look at how many people are searching on that phrase. Global is everywhere on the planet. Everywhere in the world, people who have searched for Seekonk homes, and then local is just people inside the version of Google that you're using. So you know there's a United States version of Google, and that's what it's showing me here. If I was in another country and doing this using this tool, it would show me maybe local searches for the UK or local searches for you know, I don't, China or wherever it is that I'm doing this this keyword research. So it's showing me, and this is, you know, I would guess that this is probably true, that there are the same number of people globally searching for Seekonk homes as there are locally searching for Seekonk homes, because, you know, probably not a lot of people move from outside the United States and look specifically to move into Seekonk. It happens, I'm sure, but not a lot. And then this last one here is called local search trends, and this is over the last 12 months. It kind of shows me, and you notice that a lot of these terms flow right along with what you would expect in the real estate world. When we're shooting this video now, it is August, and you can kind of see over the last few months the search queries for real estate related terms have been the busiest, and that's normal. The summer months are usually the busiest time for real estate, and you can see that same thing here. Here it's kind of more flat, and that might lead me to believe that maybe this phrase is not really related to the kind of real estate terms that I'm interested in. That's kind of an unusual pattern for real estate. Maybe I'm going to avoid that one. And then hotels and Seekonk, again, kind of flat. Google says, hey, maybe you might be interested in this term. I guess a hotel is a piece of real estate, or I don't know, maybe people who are looking for real estate might also look for hotels or something, but clearly that's not a phrase that's very meaningful to me. The other thing that you should be aware of are a couple of other options, and if you'll scroll down here, you'll see these things called match types. A match type is kind of how that phrase was used in Google. If you click the exact tick box, then you'll see it kind of reload this page over here, and then you'll see the same phrase again except with the brackets around it. And that means the brackets represent the search box in Google. And so if it has that bracket around it, that means this is exactly what somebody typed into the search box. If without the bracket, it means these are all the searches where the word hotels and the word Seekonk appeared somewhere in the search. You know, sort of, it might have said, I want a hotel in Seekonk. And that would show up as one of these searches. If you had the brackets around it, then that would just be hotels, Seekonk. That's exactly what somebody typed into the search engine. Notice it's much, much fewer searches. Let's see how that affected our real estate searches. Seekonk MA real estate, bracketed, you get about half of the searches were exactly that key phrase. And this is one thing that you should be aware of, because you should be careful of thinking, oh wow, this is a great key phrase, there are tons of searches on it, I'm going to optimize for this exact thing, when the reality is it's just maybe the most popular of a whole bunch of different key phrases that would show up under that same search. And then the last one is phrase, and phrase is kind of a cross between the exact and the broad. Phrase means that somebody put quotes around those keywords. It means that somewhere in that search is Seekonk homes. They could have had stuff before it, they could have had stuff after it, but those two words appeared right next to each other. And then you'll notice that, hey, we get an even different result for that. So it might have been Seacock Homes for sale would have shown up as the, as part of these searches. And so now that you have some data like that, you can kind of go through and see, oh, you know what, this one looked like a fantastic term, lots of searches, but the reality is there are only 91 people that actually typed that in to Google. So it still might be a term that you target. It still may be a very important term. My assumption is that you're trying to attract people to your site and then get them to fill out a leads form or buy a product from you. But that's not always the reason that people do search engine optimization. Somebody could be doing a branding campaign. We get a lot of business owners who like to have what we call vanity terms. So they want to be down at the club and be able to tell people, hey, I'm #1 for this term or that term. Is it driving a lot of business for them? Maybe not directly from Google, but the fact that it gives them a lot of visibility in their community means that they could get business from other sources. So there's a lot of reasons why you would do an SEO campaign, and getting customers is probably the most used reason, maybe the most valid reason, but it's certainly not the only reason. And so that's how the Google keyword tool works. And then one last thing that I want to show you is thesaurus.com. This is a great place to go to help you find. So if I type in home and hit enter, I'm going to get a bunch of different adjectives or nouns or whatever I'm looking for that are somehow related to home. Address, hideout, bungalow. Hey, bungalow. Maybe people looking for Seaconk bungalows, cabins, castles, blah blah blah. And sometimes I'll just spend a few minutes and read through these and see if those words don't make sense. And then I might even write a little formula in Excel that kind of auto-fills that word in next to some other words I'm looking at, see if there's any interesting combinations that'll come out. Really kind of overkill for the purposes of this video, but it's certainly not something to be overlooked. So now that I have my keywords and I've put them into Google, I want to kind of start culling out this information. And just for simplicity's sake, I'm just going to use the phrase match type. If I was going into doing the full thing, I might list them each out separately and actually track that data, all that data in my spreadsheet. But again, I'm just trying to get something for demonstration purposes right now. So I'm just going to take one of those statistics, and I like this one. It's usually like the middle one. So I'm going to go through and I'm going to say, okay, Seaconk Homes had 320 searches. Competitive was medium, but that was a little more than half. I'm going to kind of just assign a number. I'm going to say that's a 6 out of 10 is the competitiveness. And then relevance to what I'm doing. Seaconk Homes, I'm selling Seaconk real estate. I would give that pretty high. I'd say that's on a scale of 1 to 5. I'd say that's a 4. It may not be like exactly what I'm doing, but it's pretty close. Somebody could certainly be looking for Seaconk Homes, but that was not looking for real estate. But I don't know. I think that's a little bit unlikely. Seaconk real estate is my next one. There it is. Competition, I would call that a 7. There are 720 people. It's about a 7 of competition. Relevant, Seaconk real estate? Yeah, that's super relevant. I'm going to give that one a 5 on the relevant scale. And the relevant scale is just something I made up. It's just to help me kind of keep track of the keywords and kind of really help me stay focused on finding phrases that are what I really am looking for. If you don't have the end goal in mind, which is, hey, I want relevant people to find me, fill out my leads form, I'm going to show them some houses, they're going to buy a house, I'm going to get a commission. That's the path, that's the goal to make your business successful. So keep the relevant scale in mind, because it'll help you eliminate terms that are just frankly not that interesting for what it is that you're doing. All right, I'm going to go finish doing my research. I'll be with you in just a second. I've gone and baked the cake a little bit. I've filled in the rest of these search terms here. I've got some interesting numbers. Basically, I'm going to look through these and let's do a little bit of sorting. And we're going to, let's see, using the searches column, I'm going to sort descending. So we'll get the biggest ones on top, and there's some pretty good search volume here. Seekonk MA homes for sale, 4,400 searches. That's quite a lot. I've got one that's 13, 880, 720. These are, as far as search volume goes, these are really good. I'm looking over here at my competition column, and 7 is, you know, if I'm just getting started for my SEO, I'm probably not going to go for the 7 terms if there are some terms that are less competitive that have even more traffic. So I'm probably going to eliminate these, Hotel Seekonk and Seekonk Real Estate. And anyway, Hotel Seekonk is not even that relevant to selling real estate in Seekonk, Massachusetts. So I'm gonna eliminate that one. In fact, you know, I can do this in a couple of ways. I like to just hide the row, so I'm not deleting any of my data because I might come back to it later for some reason. Or you can color it a different color or something else just to kind of get it out of your consideration set here. So we still have some that are highly relevant. They're 5s. We've got a 4 here, Seekonk Homes. It's probably pretty relevant, but you know, obviously these other ones are more relevant. They're very specific to Massachusetts. Homes for sale, real estate. These are all things that are people who are actually looking, I think, or to sell or to buy. Seekonk Homes, you know, they may be interested in pictures of Seekonk Homes, or they may be interested in the average age of a Seekonk home. Things that are not actually relevant to buying or selling a home, but probably a lot of people search that phrase who are interested in buying or selling a home. So, so it's still pretty high, but just not as high as the others. And then once you get down here to, you know, less than 100, kind of these phrases, I'm not that interested in doing a lot of work for a phrase that's going to get 10 searches a month. Because keep in mind that even if I'm #1 in Google for that phrase, I'm going to get a fraction, maybe half of the people who search for that phrase are going to click on my website. So if I take those low search terms and half of those people find me, and that's best case scenario, it's a waste of time. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go over and I'm going to hide those as well. And that leaves me really with just these 5. And relevance, they're all pretty good, except maybe Seekonk Homes. Competition, you know, I've got such good phrases here. I'm going to eliminate Seekonk Real Estate for now. You know, I may come back in a few months and add that one in and optimize for it. But for today, I'm gonna hide that one. And then my decision's really a lot easier to make here. I've got phrases that all have very high, well, some that are very high search volume, at least relative to, you know, the phrase I'm going after. But I've got this one right here that is incredibly low competition. It's extremely relevant. It's got a medium-sized number of searches, but there aren't any of the competitors who are really using that phrase. And just to be sure, I'm going to copy that out, flip back over to my browser, find an empty window here, and I'm going to do a quick Google of that and see what I've got. Homes is a national website. That's not a local Seekonk. Truly is the same. Realestate.yahoo is the same. Realtor.com. Zillow. American Towns, I think that's another national site. Realestate.com. City Data. WeShirt. I'm not really sure what that is, but I think that's looks like, based on this path, I think that's probably somebody that sells real estate in a lot of different areas in Massachusetts. And then homesinma.com, which that sounds like one that's actually specific to Massachusetts but not to Seekonk. So I'm looking in the top 10 of Google and I don't see any sites here that are going after that particular key phrase, and yet it's probably for volume, it's probably the second best key phrase that's there. This key phrase, relatively speaking, will be very easy to get ranked for. And no, I won't be getting the high search volume of the people who rank in the top 10 for this phrase, but you know what? I can move much, much quicker for this phrase, get some traffic coming in, and then I can expand my campaign and go start looking at other phrases. And that's the kind of thing you want to think about. When you're starting your SEO campaign, don't think that, hey, I'm going to do this SEO thing one time and then I'm done. No, SEO is an ongoing effort. You're going to find key phrases, optimize for them, build content for them, generate links, do all the things that you can to get ranked for that phrase. When you get ranked for that phrase, then good, maintain it, but go and look for another phrase that you can start optimizing for. Build new content, a different section of your website, add that phrase in different places, but generate some links and get ranked for that phrase. And you can continuously increase the amount of traffic that's coming into your site and make your return on investment for your SEO continuously climbing by pursuing a strategy like that. The alternative strategy in SEO is maybe to take 100 key phrases and go optimize for all 100 of those phrases at the same time. And if you're a company that has significant budget for their SEO, this is a viable option. This is a good strategy, and you can get a lot of traction and a lot of traffic very, very quickly by doing that. But I think most people that are watching the video are probably optimizing for smaller search phrases, and you probably have more limited budgets. You probably want to go after maybe 1 or 2 phrases to begin, get some traction, get some ROI, and then start to expand your campaign from there. There's one other tool that you can use to help you determine the competitiveness of a search phrase, and that's to do a link search in Yahoo. What I'm going to do here, I've got the Seekonk MA real estate key phrase pulled up here, and this one, the last one, homes-n-ma, seemed to be the most specific. All these other ones are kind of national sites. And so I'm going to copy that phrase, go to Yahoo, and then I'm going to do a search that looks like this: link, colon, and then I'm going to put in the URL that I'm interested in competing against, so to speak. I'm going to do that search and see how many in-links that this site has. This site has 1,838 in-links. Now I'm going to go down here and kind of look at some of those in-links, see where they're getting links from. A lot of those actually seem to be internal links, so I'm suspicious of that number already based on what it's showing me. But yeah, they've got a lot of links from link pages and things like that, resource pages. It seems like a lot of these links are probably not the highest of quality, but they have a lot of them. 1,800 links is a lot of links. You know, if you went out and started doing a link building campaign, and you were even to get 10 links a day or something, it'd take you a better part of a year to get this many links. But the good news is, a lot of these links seem to come from ActiveRain, so you can dismiss a lot of those. ActiveRain is a big real estate blogging and marketing website. You can go and set up an account on ActiveRain and get those kind of links pretty easily. And then and you can just kind of go down the line here and look at some of the other ones and see how you feel, and do that with a couple of the different competitors. And you'll see that some have, if I went and did one of the other sites was I think it was homes.com. If I went and did homes.com, well, they're going to have almost 7,000 links. Very competitive site. If I really felt like I was competing with them for this phrase, that might scare me a little bit. But their links are probably not super relevant to Seekonk Real Estate, and you can kind of follow these links through these different link sites here and see. That's a search page. Let's go to, I don't know, Beverly Testa. Let's go here and see what that link looks like on her site. So there's Beverly Testa's site. Let me find homes.com, and I don't even see the link. It's not even coming up. So it may be like in the source of the page, homes.com. Here we go. So the link is, I'm not even sure what the key phrase is. Oh, it's a period. The key phrase linking to homes.com is a period. That's really strange to me. But pretty much right off the bat, I think I can just dismiss, and that she's done that with all these. These are all these links are periods. And look, there's the closing A, there's the opening A, and then she's linked to a period. I'm not sure what her strategy is. It seems like, oh, it's all these periods. Look at that. And she's linked to all these things. That is a link spamming technique that we have discovered on this person's website, and obviously I don't really need to give a lot of credence to that link. It's not on a good valuable key phrase. It's on a period, and I'm very suspicious of Beverly Testa's site now. Sorry, Beverly, but I don't know. I think you just failed the black hat test, or the smelly fish test, as we like to call it. In any case, you can kind of go through and you can see how I've done that and just kind of look at the links and get a feel for them. And after you've done this for a while, you'll start to get a feel for sites that have good quality, high quality links, and sites that frankly are getting lots of links from spammy pages. All right, I'm really excited. We found a fantastic search phrase that we're going to be going after, Seekonk MA Real Estate. It's kind of low on the competition scale, high on the traffic scale. I think we can get ranked really, really quickly. And that's kind of the feeling that you should get when you're done doing your keyword research. You put in the diligence now. Don't make the mistake of cutting corners and just guessing and assuming that you've got the right phrase. When I started doing this research, I thought Seekonk Real Estate was my phrase. But the reality is there was a much better phrase out there, and I would have never found that if I hadn't sat down and actually done the due diligence of the keyword research. Now that we've got our phrase, we know what we're trying to optimize for. Now it gets really exciting, and I'm looking forward to showing you how to take that phrase and integrate it in to your Drupal website.